So lines of communication that we discussed in the last class, and I told you that how the people used to coordinate and control this revolt, how the Indian soldiers used to communicate with each other, and how they used to make plan for the revolt. It means there used to be a sort of communication, and there is no direct evidence that there was a communication between the sepoy lines. But due to the sources of some written sources which were written by the historians of that time, and due to the exchange of letters, we came to know that there was some sort of planning, and that planning was done by the Indian mutineer soldiers. And one incident which has been described in your book also, that is about the military police, that the captain of the military police, and his name was the Captain Hearsay, was captured by the rebellious soldiers, and they did not want to kill him because he was a good officer. But the other Indian soldiers from different unit, they asked the military police to hand over that captain to them, or either he can be killed by themselves. But the people of the military police or the soldiers of the military police denied to hand that officer over to the other soldiers. And then the matter remained unresolved, and it was finally decided that the matter would be resolved in the meeting which was going to be held in the night. It means there was the nightly occurrence of the meetings in the Kanpur Sepoy line. This was written by a historian. His name is Charles Ball. It means there was some sort of coordination and planning on the part of the Indian soldiers also. They used to plan the revolt, and they again turned to be the rebellious after that. So that we discussed in the last class. Now what we are going to discuss today, who were the leaders and who were the followers, that we will discuss today. So today we will read about the leaders and the followers. Can you identify this person? His name is Nana Sahib. He was the leader of the rebellious soldiers and rebellious people from the region of Kanpur. This is Rani Lakshmibai. He was the leader of the rebellious people from Jhansi. He also turned to be rebellious against the British because of the policies of the Britishers, and one policy on top of that was the policy of the lapse, doctrine of lapse. The rebels were turned to those who had been the leader before the British. Generally, those people who used to be the leader of the Indian people for the arrival of the Britishers, they were made the leader by the Indian rebellion people. In Delhi, Bahadur Shah Zafar was made the leader of the rebellious soldiers because he used to be the emperor before the arrival of the Britishers. Yeah, he was the last emperor of the Mughal dynasty. So he was having a lot of respect in the mind of the people, and as a result, he was chosen as leader by the rebellious soldiers because the rebellious soldiers wanted to hark back to those days when the Mughal rule. As a result, Bahadur Shah Zafar was chosen for the rebellion. In Kanpur, Nana Sahib, who was also given pension by the Britishers, but his pension was stopped, and his power was also reduced considerably by the Britishers. So he was also dissatisfied with the British. That's why he was made the ruler. He was made the leader of the rebellious soldiers, rebellious people in Kanpur. In Jhansi, Rani Lakshmibai was forced by the popular pressure around her to assume the leadership of the uprising because there was doctrine of lapse, and under that doctrine of lapse, now Jhansi was going to be merged with the British. But the people of the Jhansi wanted that the Rani should become the next ruler of Jhansi. As a result, they pressurized the Rani to took on the leadership of the. As a result, Rani became the leader of the rebellious people. So she also wanted that next ruler should be the adopted son of Rani Jhansi after the death of her husband. But it was not accepted by the others because they were having the policy debts, and under that policy, If a ruler dies without a natural heir, then his kingdom must be merged with the British. So that was the policy. Now the turn was of Jhansi. Now the kingdom of Jhansi was going to be merged with us, and it was opposed by the people. As a result, Rani Lakshmibai was of the. Now, can you see this image? This is Kunwar Singh. Kunwar Singh was the local zamindar of Ara, that is in, and he became the leader of the rebellious people of Bihar, and he took on the leadership of the Friends of the Bihar, and he fought against the Britishers from Ara, that is in Bihar. In Awadh, where the displacement of the popular Nawab Wajid Ali Shah was done by the Britishers, Wajid Ali Shah was the Nawab of Awadh for the arrival of the Britishers, and Wajid Ali Shah entered into a policy with the British, and that was the policy of subsidiary alliance. But slowly and gradually, he was dethroned by the Britishers and he was sent on exile. And Britishers undermined his popularity. They believed that Wajid Ali Shah is not more popular ruler of the Awadh, but the people used to like him a lot. As a result, when he was displaced, people turned against the British, and the memory of his dethroning was still available in the mind of the people, still fresh in the mind of the people. As a result, the people rose against the Britishers in revolt, and they made their leader his son, that is the Burjis Qadir, and he was the young son of the Nawab, and he was made the leader of the rebellious people in Awadh. Now you can see that this is the image of Shamal Singh. He was from the Meerut, that is in western UP. Everywhere were the leaders, people of the court, that is the Ranis, Rajas, Nawabs, and Talukdars. Often the message of rebellion was carried by ordinary men and women and in place by religious men. So these were the people who used to be involved in the revolt of 1857, and they used to spread the message from one place to another place. And the famous Rani, Raja, and Nawab and Talukdars were made the leader. In Lucknow, after the annexation of Awadh, when Awadh was annexed by the Britishers, there were many religious leaders of both Hindu as well as the Muslims and self-styled prophets who preached the destruction of the British rule. They predicted that the British rule would be going to be destroyed after the completed year, and people started believing these self-styled prophets and religious leaders. One among them was the Maulvi Ahmadullah, and the Shamal, who was a Zamindar from the Jat family of Western. He was from the Pargana of Beirut, Uttar Pradesh, and he mobilized the peasant against this route because there was an oppressive policy of collecting the revenue from the peasant of youth. So he mobilized the peasant of his region against the Britishers and captured a large area of the British, and he got it freed from the British. Many British were killed by him. He also started his own rule in India. Konu, he was a tribal leader, and tribal people also turned against the new forest laws of the Britishers, and he was from the Chotanagpur plateau, and he was a cultivator of the Singhbhum district, and he became the rebel leader of the Kol tribe of that. So you can see that generally those people who were very influential in society, they were made the leader by the rebellious people. Now, humors and prophecies. Whenever such kind of revolt occurs, at that time there are many rumors in the society, and they also play an important role in those revolts, those revolutions, and prophecies were predicted by the self-styled prophets and saints at that time. They also played an important role in the travel. The first revolt was the bullet spotted with the head of the cows and pigs. A new rifle was introduced in India, and it was introduced by the Henry. And this is the image of Henry Hardy. And that rifle was the Enfield rifle. And it was believed that the bullet which is used in this Enfield rifle, that is filled with the fat of cows and pigs, and it had to be opened while biting with the mouth. So in this way, the religion of both Hindu as well as the Muslim was going to be violated, so they did not want to use. So whether it was a truth or a rumor, that is not, um, they are not sure about that. But when we tracked down that from where this rumor spread, so we found that the rumor spread from Bengal, from a cantonment where a Khasi wanted to use water from a lota of a Brahman soldier. But the Brahman tried to give him water because by touching that lota from a lower caste people would destroy his religion. Then the Khasi became angry and he said to the Brahman that your religion going to be destroyed by the British. What does it matter? Because soon you will be getting the Enfield rifle, and where you will use your mouth to open its cartridge, which is green fat of cows and pigs. So this rumor spread from that part and it spread to the entire Indian subcontinent like the wildfire. So the rumor and prophecy plays an important role, and it was also an immediate cause of the revolt of it. So we can see that humor played an important role in the revolt of 1857. Next is British government has a gigantic caste and religion of the Indian society. This was another rumor that now British had planned that they are going to destroy the tradition of India. They wanted to destroy the religion of Hindu as well as Muslim. And it was heard that the flour which is available in the market that is mixed with the bone dust of cows and pigs. मीन्स जो आटा मार्केट में है उसमें गाय और सुअर की हड्डियां पूरा इन दिस वे whosoever will eat that atta his religion is going to be destroyed. So that was also a rumor spread at that. Then there was a prophecy by the self-styled prophets that the British Raj would come to an end of the centenary year of their rule. If we go back to its 18th century, we will find that after the Battle of Plassey, that was fought in 1757, British rule started from Bengal, and now it was the year of 1856. So British completed their 100 years rule in India, and it was a prediction by the self-styled prophets in India that the British Raj would come to an end after the completion of 100 years. And by hearing their prophecy, the people became quite enthusiastic and they fought with great enthusiasm to end the British rule because they wanted to establish the system which used to be there in India before the arrival of the. So this also played an important role in the revolt of 1857. Next is the distribution of chapati. It was also a rumor that a visitor hits a village and generally he brings a chapati with him and it is given to the watchman of the village. And the watchman of that village is being asked by him to make more chapatis or 5 chapatis, and that 5 chapatis needed to be distributed in the 5 more villages. And this was a way to circulate the message of the rebellious people from village to village. So this was also a humor which spread at that time that by distributing the chapati, they were inviting the people to be a part of the revolt of against the. Now, next rumor is that the British policies to reform Indian society by introducing Western education. People started believing that British wanted to spread the Western education in India. In this way, they are going to destroy the Indian education system and Indian culture and tradition. And mainly, they also started radical reforms in Indian society. And the people started believing that by reforming Indian society, they want to make Christianization of India. And as a result, people were afraid that their religion, their tradition, was by the British. The activities of the Christian missionaries. Christian missionaries started coming to India with the arrival of the Britishers, and the main of this Christian missionary was to spread Christianity in Indian subcontinent. And they also set up many schools in Indian subcontinent, and by establishing this school, they started spreading the Christian education. And people of India started believing that by spreading the Christian education in India, they are going to destroy the Indian. And with the help of these Christian missionaries, they are converting the Indian people into Christianity. So they believed that their religion soon would be destroyed by the Britishers and they all would be converted to the. Next is the annexation of the Jhansi under the policy of the lapse. And there was a doctrine of lapse and it was introduced by Lord Dalhousie. Under this doctrine, there were certain rules. And one rule is that if a ruler in India dies without giving a natural death, मीन्स अगर कोई राजा मरता है और उसके कोई बेटा नहीं होता है तो जो नेक्स्ट राजा है कोई भी नहीं बनेगा और उसका जो राज्य है वो ब्रिटिश के अंदर मिला दिया जाए. तो द रूलर ऑफ झांसी died an untimely death without giving a natural heir. So now the kingdom of Jhansi was going to be merged, but it was opposed by the people of the Jhansi. After their pressure, Rani Lakshmi Bai, she was the wife of the ruler of Jhansi, she also turned against the British. And she adopted a son, and his name was Damodar Rao. She wanted that her son should become the next ruler of Jhansi, though he was adopted son. But the British were not ready to accept the ruler of Jhansi, and because he was adopted by the Rani Lakshmibai and he was not the heir of the ruler of Jhansi. So they were very eager to merge Jhansi with their own kingdom, their own rule, that is the rule. And it was opposed by the Rani Lakshmibai and she was the leader of the rebellious people of Jhansi against the British. And she fought very bravely against the British. Now you can see that this is the image of a Governor General. This is the Governor General of India, that is Lord William, also called as the father of modern Indian society. He conducted various reformation movements in India and wanted to save the society of India from the evils which were there from the past. So he introduced some reforms in India and some Indian people were also a party to his reformation, like Radha Ram Mohan Rai was one of. And under the reformation movement which was started by Lord William, an act was passed in 1829 that abolished the Sati Pratha in India. According to Sati Pratha, when the husband dies, the women used to burn alive along. That was the Sati Pratha and it was ended by Lord William Bentinck, and there was a reformer in India. He was also an Indian, that was Radharam. And they also passed an act of widow remarriage, that widow who used to be at an early age, they should be पुनर्विवाह वो एक्ट जो था वो पास किया. In this way, people in India started believing that now unnecessarily British are interfering in their religious and traditional, and they believed that they are going to convert the Indian society. They wanted to make it a westernized society. This way, their culture and tradition lost. So they started believing in the rumor which used at that time, like the British wanted to convert all the people of India into. So they believed because some was doing such kind of reformation at that time that they started believing. Then the annexation of Awadh, Jhansi and Satara. Jhansi and Satara was annexed by the Britishers under the doctrine of lapse, and Awadh was annexed by the Britishers by following the policy of subsidiary alliance. So the rest of the rulers in India started believing that slowly and gradually Britishers wanted to capture whole India. They wanted to control whole Indian subcontinent. And by annexing the kingdoms one by one, they are going to become the ruler of India. As a result, people turned against the British policies and they revolted against. Then the act of Christian missionaries, they set up schools in India. They sent the Jesuit missionary in India who wanted to spread the Christianity in India, and many tribal community and poor people in India were converted to the Christian. By alluring them, they were converted to the Christian. As a result, people of India believed that it is a threat to their, so they turned against the British. Then the socio-religious customs were replaced with an impersonal alien and oppressive. there was a system which was established in India, especially the revenue system which was there in India, especially in the region of Awadh, which was little bit flexible, was peasant friendly. But now the system which was introduced by the Britishers, that was in nature. It means people were not aware about that system. It was very strict. There was no respect given to the people under this system. As a result, people did not like the system and they wanted to re-establish the system which was prevailing in India before the arrival of. As a result, they wanted to hark back to their old time, their past time, and they wanted to end the colonial rule in. That's why they started believing in the this rose in the revolt. Now, what was the policy of subsidiary alliance? Under this policy, Awadh was annexed by the British, and subsidiary alliance was a policy which was introduced in India by Lord Wellesley in 1798. The image of Lord Wellesley. Those who entered into such an alliance, the British had to accept certain terms and conditions. So there were some terms and conditions, and these terms and conditions were in the favor of the British. The British would be responsible for protecting their ally from the external and internal. It means a king who had joined the Britishers under the policy alliance, he had to disband his army. It means उस राजा को अपनी आर्मी रखने की जरूरत नहीं है और अब उसके राज्य की सुरक्षा का काम कौन करेगा? So the king disbanded his army. He believed that it's a good policy because he need not to keep an army. He did not to spend a lot of amount of money upon the maintenance of his army. So he readily agreed to follow this policy. और यही गलती किसने की थी? अवध के नवाब ने. इन द टेरिटरी ऑफ द एलाई, यानी कि जो राजा इनका एलाई बन जाता है, ब्रिटिश आर्म कंटिजेंट वुड बी स्टेशन. एक ब्रिटिश ट्रुप जो है वहां पे हमेशा रहेगी जो कि उसके राज्य की आंतरिक और बाह्य करेगी. द एलाई वुड हैव टू प्रोवाइड द रिसोर्सेज फॉर द मेंटेनिंग दिस कंट्री एंड ऑल द एक्सपेंडिचर ऑफ दैट ट्रुप वुड बी बोर्न बाय द रूलर ऑफ दैट पर्टिकुलर किंगडम. यानी कि जिस राज्य में किस आर्मी की ट्रुप रहेगी के लिए का सारा खर्चा भी वो राजा देगा और ब्रिटिश किसी भी बाहरी आक्रमण के टाइम उस राजा की हेल्प करेगी. तो राजा को लगा कि इस तरह से ब्रिटिश जो है बिना कुछ ज्यादा लिए उनकी हेल्प कर रहा है, उसको आर्मी रखने की जरूरत नहीं है. द एलाई could enter into agreement with other rulers or engage in warfare only with the permission of British. So this was against that rule. इसमें एक टर्म एंड कंडीशन ये भी थी कि अगर वो राजा अपने किसी दूसरे राजा को दोस्त बनाना चाहता है या दूसरे राजा के साथ लड़ाई करता है, युद्ध करता है, तो उससे पहले ब्रिटिश परमिशन लेनी पड़ेगी. इट मीन्स नाउ द रूलर ऑफ दैट पर्टिकुलर किंग was not free to have a relation with other ruler. Before that, he had to take permission from the Britishers. In this way, we can see that slowly and gradually that ruler was made dependent upon the and his power was reduced to a great extent. The ally had to keep the resident who was the representative of the governor general and was under the direct British rule. में एक टर्म एंड कंडीशन ये भी थी कि एक ब्रिटिश रेजिडेंट हमेशा राजा के कोर्ट में रहेगा, राजा के दरबार में रहेगा. एंड वट एवर इज हैपनिंग इन द कोर्ट ऑफ दैट रूलर इट विल बी ऑब्जर्व बाय दैट रेजिडेंट. यानी कि वो ब्रिटिश रेजिडेंट उस पर नजर रखेगा. इट मीन्स there was no privacy of the court of that ruler. और जो भी वहां पे गतिविधि होती थी उसके ऊपर नजर एक ब्रिटिश रेजिडेंट रखता था और जब भी उसको लगता था कि ये ब्रिटिश के अगेंस्ट नहीं है वो ब्रिटिश इंटरफेयर. इस प्रकार से राजा के पास कोई भी अपनी प्राइवेट आर्मी नहीं थी, कोई प्राइवेसी नहीं थी. जो भी पॉलिसी थी उसमें ब्रिटिश इंटरफेयर किया करते थे. तो राजा का रूल ना होकर के ये धीरे धीरे क्या रूल बन गया? इस रूल ही बन गया. फाइनली जब उनको लगता था कि राजा काफी कमजोर हो चुका है, he was generally replaced by the Britishers and they used to have a direct rule in the territory of that ruler. And this was done by them in the Awadh and they displaced and dethroned the ruler of Awadh, that was Nawab Wajid Shah. Okay, next topic we will cover in the